This is the Haute42 CAT. The framework is similar to the C16, so that covers the C part of the model name, and I'm guessing AT stands for adjustable travel. From here on out, we're just going to call it the CAT. You can choose a white or black outer frame, and the black one comes with keycaps featuring an interesting claw pattern. It looks as though an angry, mad cat attacked it. But let's not get hung up on the visuals, because there's more to this than meets the eye. It has a couple of tricks that are borrowed from recent leverless innovations, and even takes one of them a step further. We've got a lot to go through today, but first I want to thank Haute42 for sponsoring this video and sending the controller to me for the purpose of this review. I do get to keep it, but as always, no instructions or restrictions are placed on my opinions, which are my own. Let's start with the adjustable travel. You guys are probably familiar with this feature if you've seen the Quanbar Sapphire. I can't compare this implementation to the Sapphire because I haven't tried that controller yet. That's Quanbar's fault because they said they were going to send me one in time for a Christmas review, but it seems they've forgotten. Adjusting the travel is simple. Grab the included tool, pop it into the holes on the rim, and choose one of the 3 modes. Level 3 has the shortest travel, and level 1 is the longer travel. You can adjust this setting on each button, so if you're the kind of person who likes to go deeper with your action buttons but want your directions to feel a tad more immediate, you can have it that way. I personally like a shorter travel on all of my buttons, so I'll keep them on setting 3. Don't expect this difference to be massive. You probably have to try them side by side to confirm that they are different at first, but it's 100% there even if it's subtle. Some of you guys are more sensitive to this kind of stuff, so you take less time to feel it. I do wish that setting 3 was more exaggerated, or possibly adding a level 4 would have been a good idea. Ultimately, it's a fantastic feature. At first glance, the palm rest looks familiar, same as the C16, right? Well, not quite. It's now a magnetized strip, and that means it's replaceable. You can see it's rather thin, so it does feel slightly hollow under the palms, but the good news is that it sits sturdy and doesn't shift around during play. It's thin for a reason, by the way. It allows transparency for the light to come through underneath. It comes with a replaceable design, and craftier collectors can probably make their own. More on this in the modding section later. In the box we get a fabric alternative. This is also quite thin, and I'm not too keen on the design, but again, it's probably inspired by the sapphire aesthetic. I'm quite excited for the upcoming aluminium panel. The idea is that it will cover the whole face and the palm rest to transform it into a hybrid alu plastic controller. More news on that as soon as I get some. The CAT is one of Haute42's larger models. It's just a couple of millimeters smaller than the X series in length and height, but it is slightly thicker at 21mm. This is good for me. I like a big pad sitting on my lap because it has that extra arcade feel factor to it. It doesn't come with a carry case, but Haute42 does sell their own hot bag if you need one. Link is in the description. Around the back we have a full-sized TPU base. This is similar to the big and beautiful one we got with the X series, but instead of a gloss finish, this is matted for more grip and warmth. Hidden down here is the panel release button for our art mods. Since the whole controller is bigger, we also get a larger OLED screen. We've got the tournament lock and RGB switch next to that. And it's cool to see that Haute42 are still experimenting with their function row. These big square buttons are easy to reach and very responsive. They have Choc V2 switches under them, so they feel great to press. Unfortunately, they couldn't fit L3 and R3 here, which I like to have for practice modes. Let's talk about the buttons. We have the standard 6 action buttons, direction buttons here, your choice of jump, and a whopping 5 peripheral buttons. I do like how these bottom 2 are placed because they're easily accessible with just a flick of the thumb. It runs on the GP2040 software, so you can customize your binds or disable them as needed. From the images, I was quite concerned about the spacing, but during play, my fingers rested over the buttons very comfortably and the playing experience was relaxed. I don't have to stretch to reach anything, so I'm liking how it fits my hands. I want to talk about the panel now. They've made some choices here that I like, but I would not be surprised at all if others aren't so keen. First of all, the magnet is a long rectangle now. It's much more effective than the little dot magnets on the C series that were prone to dislodging. This is a good change. However, to cover it up, they've put these black bars on the side, and these black bars are baked into the panel. In fact, all of the labeling and graphics are baked in. I do enjoy labeling for my buttons, and the birefringent effect from the shapes inside the plexiglass is great. You get all sorts of fun colors when you look at it from different angles. So whatever art you're using, you carry these effects over. That's good for me, but as mentioned earlier, some people might feel this is limiting. Haute42 has been fond of matte finishes for a while. The keycaps, palm rest and base all have a coarse texture to them. The intention here is to limit grease and stains, and it should work pretty well in that regard. The casing on the other hand is buttery smooth. I would say this is their best plastic casing yet, and because it's mostly plastic, the overall weight is low despite the large size. It doesn't feel flimsy though, and I'm very happy about that. The CAT comes with a whopping 7 art templates and 2 plain templates. If you have a partner who thinks they can draw, it's a nice way to get them involved in your hobby. A couple of mine did come in bad shape, but hopefully your retail units will arrive intact. The function buttons use hide mountain switches and everything else has wind engines. I really like these, so I don't think it's necessary to change them. I did try shadow huntings in here, but it didn't seem to affect the height of the buttons, only the return speed. I believe this is because of the proprietary button caps and plunger, so I'm saying the height is only affected by the controller itself, and your choice of switches don't make much of a difference in that regard. It's possible that I'm completely wrong about this, but from eyeballing it and comparing them side by side, that's the conclusion I ended up on. If you do want to change your switches, first remove the top panel, remove the mounting ring by twisting it all the way to the end, and only then can you get a good grip on a button cap. As mentioned earlier, it's possible to change the decal under the palm rest, and an alternative is included in the box. But it's a permanent change because it's a sticker. It'll be interesting to see if someone clever can come up with a reusable one. As well as this sticker, the art papers and fabric palm rest, Haute42 are also including hot block switches for the first time. These are dud switches designed to keep your buttons out of commission. This is the Haute42 C16. It's the model I recommend to newcomers who want a well-rounded feature set at a good price. Think of the CAT as a spruced up C16. Both have an easily removable panel and both have this curved palm rest. The CAT is larger, has a nicer base, has 2 jump buttons and 5 peripherals. It's got a larger screen with Chalk V2 function buttons and a replaceable palm rest. Finally, if you want to change the travel of the buttons, you need to change the switches on the C16 with something like shadow huntings. The CAT is currently the only Haute42 model with a built-in adjustable travel. As a beginner, you'll like either of these, and the big decision to make is whether or not you have the extra 40 quid to spend on the additional features. My initial concerns about the playability of this controller were unfounded. When I plugged in for my sets, I was surprised at how comfortable everything felt. Not just the reach and accessibility of the buttons, but also the sensations on my hands, fingers and ears. It feels and sounds very nice for a plastic controller, and I had an undeniable sense of fun whilst using it. I like how Haute42 has added even more modding paths so that players can really refine how their controller looks and feels, and I'm especially excited for the upcoming aluminium panel for this model. If they pull that off right, it would bring even more versatility to this product. So the CAT is a bigger, badder version of the C16. Are all of the new features necessary? No, but they are very nice to have. This is their answer to the Sapphire with their own twist. It's definitely one to consider if you want physical adjustable travel at a lower price. Now this is where I need your help, guys. If you own the Sapphire and the CAT, let me know how the adjustable travel feature compares. Are they identical or did one of these brands do it better? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to check out my links below if the CAT sounds interesting to you. As always, I appreciate your time and support, and I'll see you in the next one.